For most teenagers, falling in love involves closing the physical gap. But for Stella and Will, the instinct to reach out and touch another person is intercepted by airtight doors and heavy glass windows. They both have cystic fibrosis. Their bodies produce excess mucus that coats their lungs, creating a constant breeding ground for infections. Because their immune systems are severely compromised, coming into physical contact with another CF patient carries a massive risk of cross-infection. To manage this vulnerability, medical protocol dictates an absolute, non-negotiable law. CF patients must remain exactly 6 feet apart at all times. Within St. Grace's Hospital, this protocol is strictly enforced by the nursing staff. The facility provides the daily IV drips and nebulizer treatments keeping them alive, while simultaneously walling them off from the rest of the world.
The exact procedures required to keep their lungs functioning actively strip away the physical intimacy they need to feel human. Their bodies are protected, while their emotional lives are quarantined. This isolation protocol takes on immediate life-or-death stakes because of a highly adaptive bacterium that Will carries, called B. cepacia. Will's prognosis is already severely limited by the infection, but Stella's lung function is currently at 35%, and she is steadily climbing to the top of the transplant list. Contracting an antibiotic-resistant strain like Will's would permanently disqualify her from receiving new lungs. The bacteria thrives in saliva and phlegm. A single cough travels 6 feet. A sneeze expels particles at 200 miles per hour. The 6-foot buffer isn't a suggestion. It's the mathematical boundary required to stop the bacteria from bridging the gap. For a CF patient awaiting a transplant, catching B. cepacia is an immediate death sentence. Falling in love under these conditions transforms a standard teenage experience into a lethal hazard. A single slip in discipline, or a momentary desire to hold a hand, could end Stella's chances of survival. Confined to their respective rooms, Stella and Will build their relationship entirely through digital screens. Their dates consist of video chats from adjacent beds. They spend evenings coordinating medical regimens, organizing carts of pills and IV bags over the phone. The sensory deprivation weighs heavily on them. Stella documents this psychological toll online, laying out the strict rules of engagement required to survive. Calstat hand sanitizer, latex gloves, surgical face masks, and a complete ban on kissing. They watch each other through the glass walls of the neonatal unit, or through the lenses of their cameras, dealing with the constant longing to physically bridge the space between them. They adhere strictly to the rules, and their lung capacities hold steady. But prioritizing their biology requires starving their humanity, turning their daily medical routines into an extended exercise in psychological endurance. Cystic fibrosis has dictated every term of Stella's life. It has regulated her daily schedule, damaged her lungs, and taken her sister, Abby. Eventually, the grief and restriction push Stella to her breaking point. She broadcasts a new risk. Holding a pool cue, she explains it measures exactly 5 feet. After CF has stolen so much, she steals something back. That single foot is a defiant compromise between clinical laws and emotional demands. Shrinking the gap shifts Stella from a rigid follower of medical protocol to someone actively deciding the terms of her own existence. She knowingly accepts the lethal risk of proximity. By closing the distance to 5 feet, she asserts that biological survival is meaningless if she isn't allowed to actually live. The ultimate test of this boundary arrives in a flurry of text messages. A pair of healthy donor lungs is ready for Stella, and they are only 3 hours away. Her immediate reaction is to refuse the surgery. Accepting the new lungs guarantees an intense recovery period, strict isolation to prevent rejection, and the certainty that she must keep Will's B. cepacia infection far away from her new organs forever. Will refuses to let her give up her physical future for the sake of their proximity. Struggling to breathe, his own skin pale and blue, he insists that she take the transplant. He tells her to stop looking at what she has lost and focus on what she has to gain, delivering a final plea. Live, Stella. Will forces the distance between them. He prioritizes her biological survival over their shared emotional present, recognizing that true love sometimes requires stepping completely out of reach. Time passes, and their paths cross again at a busy airport terminal. The physical contrast between them is now stark. Stella breathes effortlessly with her new lungs, free from the nose cannula and portable oxygen. Will remains heavily reliant on his medical equipment, his face gaunt from the progressing infection. As they lock eyes, Stella walks toward him, but instead of closing the gap entirely, she stops. She takes one final, measured step, halting exactly 5 feet away. They acknowledge the severe human need for physical touch, but they honor it by maintaining the exact boundary that allowed Stella to survive. They have built an enduring connection that exists entirely in the empty space separating them. The physical gap remains unbridgeable, but that precise 5-foot distance is exactly what keeps both the love and Stella alive.